Recently, I checked out a video by Reggie on RimWorld, and apparently that was a very a modded campaign as well as a DLC. And so many people wanted me to kind of understand how the base game works, so they recommended I check out this video by Seth, who is the creator that we haven't reacted to in a very long time. I absolutely love this guy's videos. He does incredible work, which by the way you should go and support. Link to the OG videos always at the top of the description. But anyways, this game is unlike anything that I've ever seen before, and I'm really curious to actually know how it works.
Hey people, Seth.
Hey Seth.
Today I'll be reviewing RimWorld because it hit 1.0 recently and it's pretty fucking great. It's made by a few people in Montreal, China, including this guy who wants you to buy his book. RimWorld is a sci-fi colony simulation game.
Yeah, I have never seen anything like this before. And this is so many years ago. I can only imagine how many updates there have been to the game.
Which includes, but is not limited to, forceful organ harvesting, cannibalism, catching carcinomas from breathing in toxic fallout, and cargo pods falling from the sky directly on your favorite animal. RimWorld's got it all.
God.
It's very similar in the vein of Dwarf Fortress. You generate a planet, you choose some appropriate colonists, which could either be useful members of society possessing skills that will improve your chances of survival.
I think somebody in the comments said that this game was actually banned in a certain country because of how the content would usually end up becoming war crimes. It's one of the inevitable things that usually ends up happening at some point. Or rather, it's just so easy to go that way.
Survival, or mentally challenged apes who can't actually contribute anything meaningful to your colony besides being a walking, breathing, shitting sack of human meat. And then once you've chosen them, you crash land on a location of your choice. The location of your choice could be a reasonable one, like a forest with appropriate vegetation and close proximity to friendly colonies, or you could land in the middle of Malaria Town. Or maybe you'd like to spice things up and crash in a sub-zero ice sheet or a scorching hot desert with no resources. Why would you ever possibly do that? Because it's fun. Your ultimate goal? Get yourself a working ship and get the fuck off this planet.
Okay, so that's the ultimate goal. Although, I suppose it really depends on the player as well, because the AI kind of develops according to the things that you do and you build. But getting off of this godforsaken planet seems like a reasonable goal.
But surviving that long and managing the combined autism of multiple colonists who think beating the shit out of each other just prior to a pirate raid is a good idea will make that exceedingly difficult. When starting a new game, RimWorld asks you to choose from a selection of 3 different AI storytellers. These influence the event and the frequency at which they occur.
Oh, when I was talking about this on stream, you guys also did tell me that, yeah, you can pick the specific AI storyteller, and some of them will be much nicer, have more wholesome stories to tell, and others will be batshit crazy. I can imagine that Seth is probably going to pick the craziest one here.
As part of your colony's story. In no particular order, they are Cassandra Classic, who will progressively increase the challenge your colony experiences by sending a pack of alpha beavers to eat all your trees 5 times in a row. There's also Phoebe Chillax, who suffers from bipolar disorder. She does absolutely nothing for several months, making you question whether or not the game is broken. Then she'll send 2 hordes of pirates with sappers who will dig for your defenses while all of your colonists simultaneously catch intestinal parasites from not wearing appropriate protection when eating ass. And then there's Randy Random. Randy doesn't hide the fact that he's out for your blood and doesn't actually give a shit what happens to your colony. Events will happen, good or bad, but they'll happen consistently. Randy has previously sent raids, crashed mechanoid ships containing toxic waste, and started a volcanic winter, all in the span of a single afternoon. But he made up for it shortly after by instantly domesticating every squirrel on the map to join my colony and eat my potatoes. Objectively, Randy is the best storyteller. He follows no set patterns and keeps you guessing and adapting your strategy, whereas
Can I, to anybody who plays RimWorld, let me know who is your favorite storyteller. I would assume that it's probably going to be Randy.
Phoebe lulls you into a false sense of security, and Cassandra can go fuck herself. The game is quite innovative in the sense that each colonist has their own background, traits, and personality. This sounds good in theory. If you've worked in a special needs school before and have experience of tard wrangling, you'll find yourself right at home. Colonists can have traits ranging anywhere from being kind, hardworking, and having exceptional immunity to being neurotic,
Lovely.
depressive, and being a hideously deformed mouth breather. Their backgrounds often mesh together with their traits and create an exceptionally volatile, unstable human being.
my
These are quite
God.
diverse and colorful, and consist of both a childhood and an adulthood that forms the core of their character. There's probably so many fucking backgrounds that I've never even seen them all. You can have research scientists, medieval slaves, Japanese pop idols, PUBG players, and vat-grown sex slaves all living in the same
Oh, it's been so long, Seth. Some of the stuff Seth says in his videos are just insane. I could never. But I guess I kind of got used to it. I mean, Reggie's not all that much better, but man. I'm going to assume that all of these things you could also customize for yourself, depending on whatever mode you pick. But like, just the fact that we have all of these kind of different parameters that the AI can mess with, there's probably too many combinations to even count. So like every single story that is told will never be the same. And this is just the 1.0 version. Like imagine this with the updates as well as all the DLC that it currently has too. Like, my goodness. It's like infinite content, basically.
colony. Or you can get a special snowflake who, due to their pampered childhood and traumatic adulthood, can do no useful work and sexually identifies as limestone. I recommend stripping these people nude, handing them some dog food, and sending them out to the wilderness. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Oh shit, she got captured by pirates.
Dang.
Don't worry. Help is on the way. Characters interact with each other and may even love and hate the shit out of each other. An efficient colony needs a variety of skills and people to survive, as every person shines in different tasks and develops them at different rates according to how much they enjoy it. A digger seasoned in mining will feel right at home chipping away
what is
iron
that?
and exposing my colony to insect infestations, while the sickly 15-year-old boy I bought from a slave trader may not be the optimal person for crafting leather jackets, owing to the fact that I've replaced both his legs and hands with wooden stumps. And you can do that. Every body part can be replaced with prosthetic and bionic parts, because people tend to lose them, whether through a stray bullet or getting pecked out by an ostrich. Accidents happen. RimWorld has a fully functional body part and organ system for every living creature in the game. Parts can get damaged, scarred, burned, infected, and chopped right off. And that's about the gist of it for colonists. For the colony itself, you need to adapt.
The complexity of this game is off the charts, man. Like, I am so curious how all of this works in the background, but I feel like staring into it, I would actually go insane. Like, actually just an outer god and an eldritch being is just behind your computer working to make sure you experience the story like unlike any other.
To different environmental and physical threats as you slowly grow and expand. In between threats, you can even research new and additional technology, giving you access to equipment, resources, and structures that increase your self-sufficiency. You can also open up the world map and send caravans to trade with friendly colonies, take missions, and improve diplomatic relations. You can even start additional colonies, get ambushed by flesh-eating turtles, build pod launchers, and fire a dozen super soldiers dressed in power armor
you can think
straight into a colony and commit genocide. RimWorld 1.0 really has it all. Aside from handling food, energy, appropriate accommodations, and clothing, defense is probably your most important priority. No matter how well your colony is doing, an unexpected attack can decimate your entire base. Luckily, the AI is pretty predictable, and even the smarter AI patterns can be learned and manipulated. This leads to people constructing increasingly elaborate and sadistic kill boxes, labyrinthine.
I would assume that the AI has become much more complex over time. Although, depending on how experienced you are as a player, then yeah, I think it's still likely that people can just predict like where an AI is going to send enemy reinforcements in from and just have traps and stuff set up that way.
Trap mazes, Romanian corpse freezers, engineered cave-ins, and walk-in Holocaust ovens. Temperature dynamics work quite nicely in this game. So one of my favorite defensive strategies is to bait raiders into entering my base through a narrow, creeping tunnel of granite. As they manage to slowly crawl halfway through the tunnel, I quickly go all Edgar Allan Poe on them and seal the entrance behind them. Since we don't want our guests to get cold, I tell one of my colonists to start a nice roaring fire near the exit using some conveniently placed furniture. We seal the door shut, and that's when they make the realization the walls are covered in scratches. The tunnel heats to several hundred
Oh
degrees
my
Celsius.
God.
Clothing ignites, flesh
Oh
fries,
my
and skin melts
God.
off the bone. Each man will dig and claw at the walls in futile desperation, tearing their nails out while their organs boil. And then
What
Randy
am
will
I
drop a
looking
cargo
at?
pod containing milk. The best trait, of course, is psychopath. That's a bit of a segue,
course.
but I felt that I should talk about my current colony. I exclusively recruit psychopaths because they practice what I call moral relativism, and I practice what some would call an organ harvesting operation, which personally I find...
Oh, I've seen some comments of you guys saying that that's actually a super profitable way to play the game. Just, yeah, harvest them. I'm not gonna even mention that. Oh god. I think, I can see why some of you guys are like, oh, maybe you should just check out this video on your own. I don't... We'll have to see if this even makes it to YouTube. Oh boy.
to be a very offensive and bigoted term to describe non-consensual organ arbitrage. Why do I do it? Because it's very profitable.
Yep.
A human in RimWorld can provide you with free healthy organs before they need to rest. One of his kidneys, one of his lungs, and a free choice between his liver or heart. My colony makes every attempt to grow smoothly and weed out undesirables who can't adapt to corporate culture. This one didn't dodge so well. At least you'll make a good sofa. It's amazing how quickly this game turns you into a monster. Surprisingly though, every faction loves me.
It turns you into a monster, or does it just allow the monster to come out? The monster that was always underneath. I am so scared of this game now. Like, what would I become? If I ever played this.
Besides the raiders, even on the frontiers of civilization, you can't escape the unwashed horde of human rights activism. The soundtrack is pretty alright, but Tanan keeps asking me to buy it separately, together with his book. The graphics are pretty clean and simple, and have a certain charm to how minimalistic they are. It's very utilitarian in its appearance, but still very pleasant. To close off, RimWorld is very expansive with its content right now, and can easily consume hours and days of your life. It's very addictive, challenging, and frustrating. I simultaneously give my highest recommendation and a word of caution, since I genuinely believe my blood pressure and cortisol levels sharply rise when playing this game. It's fucking great. And there's always mods to fix all the broken shit.
Yeah.
Go play it. Enjoy it. Get two psychic ships crashing in the middle of your base and never touch that retarded shit ever again. Oh, at least Randy sent me more milk. A warm thank you to the many members of the Merchants Guild, which have been generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Some of the things that you can do with this game is so horrific. Like, it's profitable too. Like, maybe it's even the optimal way to play. I can now understand why it's like banned in a whatever country that it was banned in. Like, oh my god, man. But yeah, like, what can I say that I haven't already said? This game is a lot of things, and I'm just amazed by how complex it can be and how much customization there is to it. I don't think it's really my kind of game, but just knowing of his existence, well, I don't even know what to say after that. Just knowing of his existence kind of horrifies me. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.